push that button twice. And
There
we go. Good morning.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
We made it without Claude. Hopefully we will make it through the show without Claude. There might be some awkward pauses of silence because sometimes you can't shut Claude up, but that's okay.
Yeah. we're not used to that.
Yeah.
But hope everybody's doing good.
You want to give us a rundown, Jerry?
Yeah, sure. Somewhere. Let me go over here. Oh, live chat. Yes. Participants. I only see 4 participants, 5 participants on this link. Let's just go up the chat. We got Floyd Robbins, Digger Evans, Rob T. Man, Gerald Stewart, Steve Trainway Bills. Is that it? Ray Bertelstein. That looks about it, man. That looks about it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a few people pop in. I forgot to share the show on my Facebook, which I normally do every morning.
Yeah.
And I also don't know, did you share it on the Facebook Back on Track channel?
No, I didn't.
You'd think we might do that occasionally, but we forget.
It's actually a good call out on Facebook because I've not done that. I should start doing that too.
Dan's Model Railroad Journey. Hey, Dan, what's up? He's, I've seen him in here before. But so something that some of you may notice is YouTube kind of changed your chat name. So like they're adding things to it. And,
if you're lucky,
yeah.
If your channel name or whatever you originally had was fairly well unique, it didn't change much. They just dropped the and Rio Grande off of mine, so mine is like at Otter Creek.
Yeah.
But I've got more than one channel. My channel that makes use of my name and my email address added like at 22 at the end or something. Yeah. Which tells me there must be 22 other people that are using something very similar to what I'm using.
Yeah.
So like the thing is, like I see Mark Pruitt's here, Jack's here. Like I had to go look and see. Well, I know who. I had to go look and see who Dan's Model Journey DMRJ was because I wasn't sure because it used to just say Dan's Model Journey, and now YouTube's changed it or added things to it. And Jack's got some numbers after his. Mark Pruitt's is totally different. Yeah, so like unless it's hard to even see like the little thumbnail next to the person.
I think
it's all good though.
Yeah,
you're still Otter Creek.
Yeah, it used to say Otter Creek and Rio Grande.
Yeah, okay, but like sometimes it all doesn't fit. Yankee Jack's at Timonium, Maryland with JD, the train show down there.
Is Timonium's this weekend?
Yeah,
Joe. That might explain why we might have fewer people in the watching than usual.
I don't think there's not a lot of people that come in here that Joe Rader probably. Joe Rader. That's like there's not a lot of people that live in Maryland or Pennsylvania. I don't not see somebody that is from this area.
I thought that was a mecca that people would travel, hundreds of miles for. No.
I mean, it's good. I mean, Jack traveled a long way, but I think he went to go see Joe, and
there's other reasons to go besides just the show.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Oklahoma City train shows this coming weekend. It's either this weekend or next weekend.
Right.
And I will probably go to it just so I can see if I can find some HO scale road bed. Some standard gauge road bed.
Oh, so Rob T. Man's in that area too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. Like I said, I don't think there's like a large number of people that come into our chat that go to the train show other than Joe. Joe's the only one. Yeah, you can change your name back from there. Yeah. So supposedly, like YouTube has like your handle and then what you want to be called on your channel, I guess. You just go in there and change that if you want to change it.
Yeah, I was good with because most people call me Otter Creek anyway, or
Yeah,
just
I mean it.
Otter. So
So some people like me, probably, and you, Digger Evans, Rob T. Man, Gerald Stewart, like, and Mike over there. Uh, their little thumbnail doesn't really change, and you can see it, and you know right away who it is. Just you don't even have to read their name. You know,
Hmm.
just to see your little Otter Creek symbol.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of train shows. I think this weekend. I think this weekend or next weekend is Meridian, Mississippi. A lot of people are going to that. Um, I think Jason's going to it.
yeah.
Train freak, Cotton Belt, Colonel. What's up, Roy? But yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I thought I heard because I went and got a cup of coffee. Bill, did you say that you actually can run a train now?
I can move an engine back and forth about
yo,
feet on a couple of sections of track that I got powered tonight.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been making a little bit of progress even since last week on the layout. It's, been having a blast on it. I'm gonna have trains fully operational probably in about 3 days if I can continue to work on it for a few hours each day.
So I was thinking you said last week that you was going to get them operational in 3 or 4 days.
And
hey,
it's like, yeah, I've got my cork laid on 3 of the 4 tables. The yard area, I'm gonna get my main lines established so that I can get my loops going. But I've got the cork all put in place. I've got all of my track set. That is the track that's gonna stay. I was telling Jerry, I went through and, areas that would remain sectional track, I made sure all of the rail joiners were tight and then changed out a bunch of sectional track into flex track in different areas. And then at the same time, I dropped my feeders. And then tonight, I started going in and attaching a handful of feeders on one table to my bus lines, and then took one of my power packs out and then figured out how I was going to hook it up, and then tapped into the bus lines with it, and got to have one of my little Pennsylvania diesels running at a nice creep on there, and worked really nice until I got to the Caddo Unitrack bridge, and then it stalled out on that because the track is just filthy. But as soon as it got to the other side where I had not put power feeds in, it ran again. So it was conducting power, just the track itself was filthy, and I've got to take that off and just give it a good clean here before I kind of try to get it set permanently in place. But it felt pretty good to be able to run a train again. I was telling Jerry that it's been more than a year now that
Yeah.
since I've actually run an engine, turned on the power. But I do have
It's
a problem with my power pack. It's the Tech 2 that I brought back with me this time, in that when I hooked it up, I had it hooked up through a converter. I was getting good 120 voltage, but the power pack, even with the rheostat, totally set at 0, I was getting about 1.2 volts out. So I think the rheostat's screwed up, because otherwise there should not be any voltage bleed. So I've got 2 other power packs here that I'm going to take and I'm going to hook up tomorrow, and just make sure that I don't have some bizarre electrical issue affecting it. But so when I turned the power pack on, my engine started to hum, and I had to give it some juice so that it started to move. And then when I stopped, I had to turn the power pack off again, just so it doesn't sit there and hum for a while. But other than that, everything is going pretty good with the train. I'm quite a happy camper.
very cool.
And then we were talking here before the show. Like, I don't know if you can see over my shoulder. I've got my, Dennis put my margarita maker in the layout room. Like, it's not going to be long before I start doing scenery on the layout there, but trying to find sculpt-a-mold here in anywhere in Asia, from what I've been finding out, is next to impossible or extremely expensive. So went on YouTube and was looking at a number of different videos that people have put out on how to make your own sculpt-a-mold. So one guy in particular was using like the fiber egg cartons, and I've got hundreds of those here that my lady
is that the kind of
the
cardboard material, or
Yep.
is that okay?
Yep, it's the cardboard. It's like the recycled newspaper stuff that just makes the gray egg cartons. So it's like the 30 egg carton. So the video, and when I actually do a video on it later, when I get to that point, I'll credit the guy that I watched. But you just take those egg cartons and just tear them up into small pieces, toss them in a blender, and just let them soak for a few minutes till they kind of get mushy, and then, you know, pulse the blender a little bit just to turn it into pulp. And then I've got, I don't know if you can see it, I've got like a strainer hanging up back here too to remove excess water. And then you put it in a mix of like 50% plaster and 50% mushed paper to make your own version of sculpt-a-mold. And I bought a whole bunch of plaster. I've got like 4 bags of plaster, local brand, that I'll be using to make the sculpt-a-mold, or paper, kind of paper mache-ish, you know, I don't know what to call it. Sculpt-a-mold, you know, a trademark from the Armco.
Yeah, I think it's all pretty much the same stuff. It's just how
yeah,
fine
a little bit different mixes,
the fibrous
different whatever they put into it. So I'm going to give that a whirl, because I've already got in my head visions of tilted rock strata by the bridges that I've got on the layout, coming up next to the backdrop. And I've got my board for the backdrop in here, which I'll cut. I'll be able to get backdrops put in place fairly soon too. Yeah. So I've got a lot of stuff that's finally coming together, but you know, within a handful of days, I'll have all of the track laid that I need to do continuous running. Still be working over in the yard area and trying to figure out exactly how I want to do, you know, holding tracks and, you know, some switching areas there. But I'll have everything else operational where I can, you know, run short trains, longer trains, test out my track. And once I'm satisfied that everything is running well, then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use this stuff that I get here, Max Bond from H.B. Fuller. I think we can get it in the States. Good construction adhesive. I used it to put all of my cork down. And I'll just take a putty knife, and about every 6 inches, you know, I'll put a little strip, press my track into place where I want it. And that will hold everything in good shape. And then when I come back in later and I ballast and glue everything, that'll kind of make sure that I've got the rest of everything tight, so that it's not going to bounce or come loose when I start moving the layout, taking it different places. So Bill, a lot of little things coming together, having fun.
Bill, I forget when you did your O scale layout. What was that? ON
30, yeah.
What did you cover your mountains with there?
Sculpt-a-mold? It was Sculpt-a-mold, you know. So the foam board core.
Right.
And then over the top of that, I pressed Sculpt-a-mold in. In some areas, I used little drywall screws that I screwed into the foam board if I had a lot of verticals, so that the Sculpt-a-mold would adhere better because it had anchor points.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything was Sculpt-a-mold, and then over the Sculpt-a-mold in areas where I wanted rock faces, I put the regular plaster on and then carved it.
So when you say foam board, I want to make sure I understand what what material are you referencing when you say foam board?
So for what I had, it's the Pink Panther, the pink foam board that I did on
Okay,
the.
so
Rigid foam, like kind of like what you're using, but his is pink, yours is blue.
Yeah, it's the same basic stuff, just different companies make it.
Yeah. Lowe's is one color, Home Depot's is another
Yeah.
stuff. Rigid,
same thing.
rigid
Yeah,
foam.
same thing. And I had some different thicknesses. It's like the 1.5" stuff, I think is what I used, and then stacked in different ways, oriented at angles so that I could get my angled strata flat in some areas, just where I wanted ground cover, because as you've probably seen, Dennis, or you will, is that it's so easy to poke holes into that for trees.
That's why I want to use it.
Yeah, it's super easy. And then for me, when I coated everything with Sculptamold, it's easy to drill through Sculptamold and into the pink foam board so that you can, insert your trees after you get that piece done. And the Sculptamold, just doesn't crumble, doesn't do anything. You get a little bit of dust. If you got a little micro vac, you can vacuum it up, or, you just spread glue or,
So did you,
around the ground and cover it later. It doesn't make any difference.
did you get the larger, the rough shapes out of the foam first in a general, this is what I want it to look like? Then you came with the Sculptamold and
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
my plan too.
I did like where I had the very large curved trestle on the O scale, and then the smaller curved trestle on the ON30. I just stacked in scraps and different things at a steep angle and kind of an outward angle so that I could get some different textures on it. Just glued them in with construction adhesive, and other areas around that I laid pieces of the foam board horizontal, and then came back in with a sharp knife and a hot knife, different things just to kind of cut the profile so that if I had a little bit of a slope, a hill, it looked like that already. If I had a cliff, I made it more vertical. And then over all of that, pressed Sculptamold into the nooks and crannies first, and then build out from there with the Sculptamold so that the stuff that's in the nooks and crannies, holds it in place, it grabs it. And then the rest of it you can build out after that, just so that everything gets covered. And then again, areas that you want rock I come back in afterwards with plaster, make up a thick batch of plaster, slap it on where I want to work it, smear it in, and then before it sets too much, do the basic carving to get my rock strata. And then once that dries even more, come back in with a brass wire bristle brush, which is soft, kind of scrape off any nubblies and, give it some nice texture.
Do you have an idea of what you're doing for rocks, Dennis?
My plan is to do something very similar, exactly like what Bill's done. I'm going to do some experimentation first, because part of it is I don't even know what the shapes look like yet. I kind of have an idea, but what I do and how it translates into the real world from up here might be two entirely different things.
I guess, if you research the area that you're doing, then you could pretty much mimic the rock that you want to do.
Right? Well, that's the idea. Whether or not I'm good enough to mimic what I see in photographs is a whole different thing.
Yeah. All you got to do is watch Bill's videos.
You'll be able to do just fine.
Yeah.
And different rock types, because I've seen pictures of sort of the area, where you're modeling, Dennis, and you showed some, and I've got some narrow gauge books that kind of show the mountains. Should be fairly straightforward to get what you want, and I think you'll be able to do really well on that.
As long as it translates into something that is believable. That's my whole thing is I want somebody to look at it and go, that's believable. I don't want somebody to look at it and go, what was he trying to do there? Is that supposed to be a rock?
Yeah.
Well, it's like what you're going to do, you look at the photographs that you've got, or the photographs that, maybe you've taken over the years of the mountains. And, there's a lot of mountains where the rock strata is flat. And it's not so much that that's mountains. It hasn't been deformed, but just erosion has brought it out. You can see that. Whereas other mountains that are, the real mountains from tectonic processes tend to be on the outskirts, kind of crumpled, a little wavy. And then you start to get angles. You can get stuff that's straight up. In parts of Virginia, Western Virginia, when I would be traveling, I'd see like rocks standing straight up like what I modeled on my O-scale layout. And then it's just a different kind of rocks. Like if you get massive sandstones that are well cemented, you can get rock units that on HO scale are huge and that, can kind of have a smooth look to it, but kind of an undulating appearance. And then you get other stuff that, is like limestone or shale. So that if you get shale above like a sandstone, the shale will actually be in a little bit because it'll erode faster than the surrounding rock. So you'll get kind of little lumps and then a little bit in, and then it'll go back out because it'll probably be limestone on top, just due to the sequences of how the rocks lay out. But your photographs will guide you on what you want.
Yeah.
I think Bill's videos when he was doing that O-scale layout, when he was doing his rocks, he goes into great detail about all the different types of rock that are out there, and
Yeah,
how to
I've
model.
watched most of them. It's been so
It's
long.
pretty informative. I mean, I
Yeah.
never. I mean, I see them here in in Pennsylvania, but I never paid attention to them. It's just they're rocks. It was like I never. But Bill did a pretty good job explaining.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the same thing on this N scale layout here for the show. It's like where I've got my focal scene is going to be where that truss bridge goes over the other track, and then there's that little stream that's going to be running beside it. The background between where the little river scene is and the backdrop is only going to be a few inches, like 3 inches or so. But I've got different thicknesses of styrofoam board already sitting like right next to me here. So I'm going to do kind of the same in that I'm going to have kind of a gentle slope coming out with just like what I described. I'm going to have some more massive that's going to be like more sandstone, then there's going to be some shale, then some limestone where I can carve, shale that's dark, that's kind of recessed. And then on top of that, I'll have forest. And then there's going to be more hills with the same kind of a slope in front of part of that stream, behind that that trestle, so that I can act as a view block, so that my stream kind of comes from the front, goes around, under, and then it pinches off very quickly in the background. But I'm going to use the rocks to form that, and then there'll be more rocks in various areas right in that area because I'm going to have tunnels going for some of the tracks on both sides of that actually. So there's going to be a lot of mountain scenery right there. So I'm going to have fun because then I get to build trees. I get to do everything that I like, carving the rocks, ground cover. And that's the stuff that I really enjoy. I like to have the trains run, try to do my track work really good, but having the trains run through nice mountain scenery, that just always thrills me. And for what I'm wanting to do here to make it a portable layout to take to shows, that's what the end result is that I want, where like the layout that's going to go in this room later is going to be more operation based. I'm going to have a lot of sightings. I'm going to have different things that are going to add operational interest, but still be able to run trains through mountains a lot. But be much more personal for what I want. It's going to have actual blocks or switches, probably DCC in the future. This one, DC, simple, turn it on, let the trains run, let the kids and parents have some fun following the train. That's the whole goal for that one.
It's a good thing you're doing N scale because your mountains really aren't going to be gigantic like if you were doing your O.
Oh, yeah. This will be, the mountains will be,
Yeah, they're not going to.
probably
Yeah.
12, 14 inches above, what I consider my base in this.
It's still
Maybe a
pretty
little
tall
bit
for
higher
N-scale.
in a couple of spots, but
Yeah,
but
but
I
if
got
it
to make it small enough so that I can transport it. I can make
right,
big mountains in N scale,
yeah,
but take it someplace and then have like my four tables, 2 on the bottom and then 2 on some sort of a shelf system on top. I can't have it too big, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get it
yeah, you won't
anywhere.
be able to fit it.
Yeah.
Build to you.
Anything directed to me, Jerry, if you could read it, because I'm on my iPhone and I
Uh,
can't see why.
It says, Bill, do they have Rockwell soundproof insulation that too makes great sides for mountains?
Um,
Isn't that stuff like itchy?
like
Rockwell?
I'm not sure what Rockwool
kind of what I
soundproof
would think.
insulation is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And to be honest, here, I've not ever seen it here.
You guys
Simply
don't really get
because,
insulation over there.
simply because, it's like most homes are not insulated,
Yeah, you don't need it.
or if they are insulated, it might be like styrofoam type panels or
Right.
just
Rigid foam.
cinder blocks that they have that are incredibly lightweight cinder blocks, which kind of help insulate. But it's like the past few days, the morning has been like about 73 degrees in the morning, and I see people wearing coats.
It's not like
And
it's
I'm out in my shorts and t-shirt, just loving it. But
it's not
you
like
just don't see that kind of stuff here.
it's not like the winters in Iowa.
No, it's like Iowa. My house. I've got my camera and I look at the weather and stuff, and it's like about 29 degrees this morning. So big first frost. A lot later than normal, but it's cold there.
Yeah. So it's all good. Bill, will you do O scale there or no?
No, I'm only going to do N scale here. When I'm back in the States this next visit, which will be just after the first of the year, probably February, March sometime.
Right.
I am going to start on the O scale in the basement because the O scale in the basement and ON30, I bought all that crap, good stuff, but I'm start building it. Well, and I did find out plywood in the States, at least in Iowa, was not that expensive. It was less than what I thought. And Menards, those in the Midwest know of Menards, they actually had some good stuff. I just didn't buy it, but it was like about $44 for a sheet of nice quality plywood. But I'm going to do ON30, and then I am going to have like an HO and an N running on that as well for forced perspective along a river scene that I'm going to do on the O scale. It's basically going to be from floor to ceiling. I will have a gorge where the O scale comes across. I'm going to have it where HO will come out of a tunnel, kind of follow the river just a little bit and then cross. And then in the distance higher, I'm going to have just an N scale coming around, and then they'll just kind of loop, but I can run them slow so that I get forced perspective when I'm doing things with that. So that's what my goal is for that one. But here it's just a lot of people, there are a lot of people in Thailand that do model railroading. I am finding that out. But it's mostly European type stuff. There's a lot of N scale. A lot of people do Kato. Then folks from Europe that come over here, a lot of them are doing Markland HO scale. So I'm getting to meet people through Facebook that are here in Thailand. Unfortunately, nobody's like close to where I am. I am really out in the sticks. But going places to travel, I might be able to meet some of these guys that do things. And they do like what I'm doing here. They might have a spare bedroom. There's a gentleman who is just wanting to get started, and the only place he's got is a carport. You know, it'd be difficult. It could be done, but it'd be difficult. But N scale is the more popular scale for those that actually do something here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you don't have to go to the extent of other people's detailing on a layout either if you're starting out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the main thing, and we've all talked about this, you know, and all of us were here, Claude and Steve too, is that, you know, the main thing is you start. You
Yeah.
know, you stop being an armchair modeler.
Yeah, just lay some
Most people
track.
that are an armchair modeler have totes of stuff. It's
Yeah.
like find a small space, do a diorama, do anything but start building and start having some fun with the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, you might not even like all the other detailing stuff. You might just be happy just putting track down on your table and running the drain.
Yeah, and I seen somebody on, what is it, Facebook, just some of the feeds that come in from Model Railroad, like somebody had track running out of their garage and then running down to the street and back. And like, you know, that would be kind of fun to do, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's something different, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen, you know, there's uh, saw one video, O scale. He ran it all through his house. I mean, he has a layout, but just for the fun of it, he just started laying track throughout the whole house and went through the kitchen and the living room, under tables, under the couch. I mean, he just had fun, you know.
well,
And
it's probably like what all of us did when we were kids, when we got some of our first layout or model railroad stuff. I've got like an 027 and I still have it. And, you know, a track would have went under the sofa, you know, an old time sofa that would sit up high.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that goes under there, have all the little blocks and those little, I don't even remember what they were called, but little construction sets that you'd make and your trains would run through different stuff. It's like reliving childhood, just slapping track down on the floor and having fun with it.
yeah. Steve Train Waybills, put that up, Dennis. But that's kind of what you did, Dennis.
What's that?
You built a diorama. Your time
Oh, the
saver,
time saver.
you know, and then later you incorporated it into your layout.
Yeah, I think I don't know which one of you said it, but the key is just getting started. And then
Yeah,
I believe that there will probably be a natural progression through the hobby, a way of discovering what is important to you within the hobby.
yeah,
But if you don't actually take the first step and do something, you might not ever know. Because
yeah.
you know, I've had, if I count the time saver, I've had 3 what you would call shelf layouts. I
Right.
never completed any of them, but in the process of building them, I discovered that operation was way more important to me than I originally ever thought.
Yeah.
So when I began this railroad, you know, I kept that in mind. It's still not the focus, or at least I don't feel like it's the focus. I want the focus to be what it looks like, you know, in any one given spot here and there. I want it to be well detailed.
Right.
But I I figured out in the previous in scale layout and the time saver that I was going to be really bored with trains doing the same thing every time I stepped up to the layout. Like
Right.
there was no variety. The time saver's the same game you play every time you play the game. Once you know that, well, I've got to drop these 2 cars off here, run around, grab them from this end, put them in that end, come back out, then run around and push these. You know, it loses its appeal for just that section, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I can build a train, I don't know what I'm building until I step up to the layout and I open up train waybills, hashtag not sponsored, and then look at what I can do. You know, I'm not pushing build train in JMRI and then it's telling me what I need to do. I get to step up, look at it, and go, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to grab everything that's going to Malta and just go to Malta and work the cars there and call it good.
Yeah. You have a lot of choices.
I have a lot of choices. I
Yeah.
have even, you know, working either Frying Pan or Maroon Creek, I still haven't figured out probably the best way to switch Maroon Creek because it depends on the train, what's going where. And I don't know that I probably have done the same thing more than once, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing the same thing every time I do it because it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a little different every time I switch it. Where, you know, with the time saver, it is going to be, you're going to do the exact same thing every time you go in there,
Yeah.
unless you don't have enough cars to switch every industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like my layout, right? There's not like a lot to do on my layout. It won't be like I'll be bored of running because there's not much to run. But I found that I like building things, and I never thought that I would like that. You know, I never thought that I would like to build model kits, do scenery, things like that. But I enjoy that more than, I don't want to say running trains because I have a limited, like I'm like done running trains after like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I've been to operate op sessions and I'm just done. Like I was like, I don't want to play anymore. You know, it's like, you know, it's,
Yeah.
but I found that I like building things and I never thought that I would. So there's something for everybody in this
Oh
hobby.
yeah.
There is.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
combines so many different skill sets and everything that if you're looking for something to do, there's always something to do. That's the thing I like about it the most, is that every time I step into this room, I've got a goal and a reason to breathe and walk and accomplish something. And I'm someone who likes to, I'm a goal oriented person.
Yeah.
I've never been content to sit in the lazy boy and mindlessly click through channels and watch TV. That's not to say that I don't have a few programs that I like to watch, but
Yeah.
I'm a doer more
Yeah.
than I am anything else.
Yeah. I mean, I like both, you know, I like to just chill out. Right. But I find that I enjoy doing things more, you know. For me, it's like, you know, it's the dread of doing things. But once you start doing things, it's not so bad.
Well, you have to set realistic goals. And it's, you know, it's like what Dennis does. Dennis, when you walk in, you know, you have an idea of something that you want to do. You've got a plan. It's the same for me. It's like when I'm working on the layout, you know, any layout, it's like, okay, when I come in, I want to accomplish this. And it might take 2 or 3 days, but this is what I'm going to do next. And then, you know, it's like bite-sized pieces, you know, baby steps. Some
Yeah.
people that get into the hobby, I think, try to rush it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like, just
it
like,
makes it
you know,
not enjoyable because they don't have good track work. They don't have maybe good electrical connections. They
yeah.
don't know track cleaning. You take it one step at a time, and then you're going to enjoy the hobby for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Container man. Yeah. You're right. Everything that I've done in my previous profession translates into here. I mean, into model railroading or model building, or it's just smaller scale. You know, it's just smaller. That's all. And yeah, I mean, it's. But I never thought that I would like doing ballast and scenery and building model kits. I mean, and detailing them. But yeah, I mean,
Do
it's basically the same. What were you going
do
to say?
you find that you enjoy the process or the finished result more? Or is it a combination of the two?
Combination. It's like, you know, like I sit at my bench here and build things and I'm like absorbed in it, you know. It's like, time just, I don't know, stands still kind of like, I could spend 2 hours here or even longer building something and just it goes by so fast. And it's the same thing like if I was in my shop doing work, building projects, it's like you go in and you're building projects and before you know it, it's like time, you know, it's dark out and like, like, you forgot to eat lunch. It's like, you're just so busy and absorbed in what you're doing that the whole world just shuts off and it's like and I think we need to shut off the world sometimes.
Absolutely. I would say
Yeah.
these days, most of the time. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So
Model railroad gives that exit, exit off the freeway that you can go and enjoy.
yeah, for sure.
Well, gentlemen, I am going to leave you here because I'm going to go to bed. It's late.
It's late.
So sleep, and then tomorrow I'll play
time
more
is it
with
there?
the model railroad.
What time is it there?
It is,
Tonight?
let's see,
10:30?
we start at 9, it's like almost 10 o'clock, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's time for me to go to sleep. Get up here at like 5 in the morning, so I'm tired.
Yeah, you do your chores, right?
Go out, feed the chickens, feed the ducks, take a look at the cows. Went out to the farm today to look at the rice, and the rice is growing good. It'll be harvest time in about a month and a half. And yeah, farm living is the life for me,
That's good. Look, it agrees with you.
Yeah, I'm having fun. Retirement is worth it, and this is good. So anyway, gentlemen, have a good rest of the show and a great week, and see everybody all later here.
Take care, Bill.
Yep, take care.
Good seeing you. It was good to see Steve come in.
Yeah, it was.
And Chuck is here too. Chuck popped in. How you doing, Chuck? How's things going with you? Grandpa Rails, he's in Timonium. You buying anything, JD? I mean, Timonium's pretty good. I mean, it's not.
Well, that's a pretty good distance because JD's in Texas, isn't he?
Well, so is Jack Jack. They went together.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They went together.
That's cool.
I don't know. Did you guys stop somewhere at somebody's layout or something? I don't know. But yeah, so they're both in Maryland. It's a good show. I mean, it's probably like maybe 700 tables and a good bit of layouts. It's in a farm place, like it's called the Cow Palace. So there's like, all kinds of buildings, and there's like you might find some cow poop on the floor.
So did you do some pavement work already, or are you getting started on some pavement?
I'm kind of laying the foundations for it and seeing where I'm going to go with it. Yeah.
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 You got anything you can show us, or?
Yeah, I can take you over there.
Yeah, let's take a look
here, and then come up with my phone. All right.
Okay.
You have to entertain people for a bit. All right.
Well, that ought to be interesting.
Okay. All right. See you in a couple minutes.
Okay. And I will kind of look through here and see if anybody's said anything interesting in the comments. Let's see. I love custom building trailers, kit bashing trucks, and constructing buildings. So adding trains to the mix just boosts my creativity. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There he is.
All right. So, what I used for my foam is this. Well, for my roads is this foam. It's adhesive back. It's about a millimeter thick. It's a little thin, but I just laid down some pieces. I made template out of paper, the shape I wanted, and I laid it down, and then I went over it with some.
That looks good.
It came out all right. I went over it with some Golden's coarse modeling paste. Like I feathered the edges and filled in some areas. So like where you see brown is either going to be uh, stone or dirt and grass. So I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do for to represent stone, and I found this Woodland Scenics gravel that I kind of like. It's kind of I think it's a pretty decent scale for gravel.
Yeah.
Uh,
Have you looked at the crackle paste yet? Have you watched any of those Boomer
yeah,
Krampus videos on crackle paste?
I saw it. I don't. I mean, I'm like mixed about the crackle paste. I mean, I get it. It looks pretty good, but you know, I think he can overdo it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think the key would be,
Yeah, just a
in,
little bit.
in
And for
my
me,
opinion, would be finding pictures of something in real life
yeah.
and adding just enough to draw the eye, but not doing everything. Obviously, yeah,
And for me, it's like I didn't. I don't want to spend more money on something that not going to use a lot of. Like I'm pretty much done with this. There's not much left in this bottle, in this little 8 ounce thing.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, the crackle paste looks pretty cool, but yeah, I'm gonna skip it. I did this crossing. I used the foam, built up a bunch of layers, and covered it with stuff. Sort of happy with it, but not real happy with it. I wouldn't do it again. Um, it's just what it is, right? So I had. Uh, so this thing, I just built this together. This was a Walther's modern conveyor system for like coal bulk unloader or bulk loader, and I wanted to tie these two together somehow, and I did that. And kind of like you can kind of see here where you see the red is it would be open, so I just got some styrene and closed it in. I think it looks okay. I like how it came out. Uh,
It definitely adds something to the scene
yeah,
for sure.
it finishes it up a little bit, for me. And then like I finished doing things to that building back here, the pipes and the doors and things like that. Container Man was showing me pictures of the inside of this, and I did this a while ago. I had put this system in here, and what this would be is I plan to light this, and I plan to put something across that would be like a conveyor in this head house type thing that the grain would go in, and I don't know what it does, but I've seen some photos of old abandoned ones, and they had like a conveyor up in there in that little house up there. So I did that a while ago. I just never really talked about it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
looks
Other
good.
than that, yeah. So my next thing will be figuring out how I'm gonna uh, paint this, weather it, and I'll figure it out. I'll find something that I kind of. I found a couple that I've been messing with, and don't know if this is going to stay here or go someplace else. But
What is that little building? Is that like a way station?
yeah, it would be like a scale for the mill. Well, for the silos, like the trucks would come in here, they'd take a sample,
Hmm.
and it'd be like the office building for this facility here.
Yeah, that looks almost exactly like the little building that's just down the street from me at my grain elevator.
Does it?
Almost exactly.
Yeah, so I plan on lighting this. I kind of made a little floor,
Oh, nice.
and I got some 3D printed desks and stuff. I'll put that in there, chairs and people. So I plan on lighting that too. I'm going to try to light most of my buildings just to, give it some different interest, and so it'll look nice at night. But yeah, I still have to figure what I'm going to do for my backdrop. I can't see chat, so if anybody's got a question. But
I don't see any questions. They're telling you need to put a red light at the very top of the elevator.
yeah, I'll probably do that too on both of them. Probably right, a little airplane light. So yeah, um, but this is that conveyor kit. I'll tell you what, man, it's not a bad kit, and it's only like $16 and change, and you have enough conveyor to do 21 inches. Like like I put two of them together. There's still another one in here that I could build, and it comes with these supports, but I didn't put them. Comes with those supports there, but I didn't put them. But did I do something?
No.
Okay, yeah, comes with those supports, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to put more grass, like I said, where brown is, and did a little bit back there. You can kind of see. Just, I don't know. Just I'm absorbing it. I'm not like in a hurry
Yeah.
to lock into something. Because I think once you lock into it, it's kind of a little hard to change it. Especially when you start gluing stuff down like stone and
Yeah, I've been really reluctant to do anything in a permanent way. Like none of
yeah,
my track has been glued, because
yeah,
I want to be able to make changes as necessary
yeah,
and that kind of thing.
yeah, for sure. So that's what I'm just waiting. Like I'm done my ballast, and I just got to go in and clean
Looks
up the
good.
little places. Thanks. Um, yeah, that was like, it's like, pace yourself. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you got a big layout, pace yourself with ballasting, because like you start out and you're like really meticulous, and then by the time you get done, where I was back there, you're like, oh man, I just want this stuff to end. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
it
like,
might be smart just to,
yeah,
I'm going to do 3 foot today and that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely. Don't try to tackle. If you're trying to do a big layout, don't start setting huge goals and like try to do 20 feet in a weekend, because you're gonna, you know unless you don't care what it looks like. For me, it's like my layout is small. It's right in your face. It's at 51 inches high. So like I want to go the extra mile and be detailed. Well, if it's lower, 30 inches, 36 inches high, it's not in your face, you know? So you might, you know, you might not be as anal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all good. And like I said, I'm just having fun and just enjoying each thing that I'm doing. Not, never thought I would like static grass, but I do like static grass. Uh, yeah, that's all. It's all fun.
Steve, or no, excuse me, Pathway Valleys. No, well, hold on here. The chat keeps moving on me and I'm missing it. What is the gap between track and valance?
Uh, from here to here, I think,
I think that's what it
yeah.
means.
I know my backdrop is 19 inches, so I'm going to say from here to here is, I don't know, 16, something like that, because my valance is 4 inches wide. Right? So something like that.
And
16
then
inches.
what's the depth of the shelf itself? 2 feet?
Oh no! So like here up this end, it's 33 inches
Okay.
there, and sorry, at this end, at the opposite end, it's 22, 22. So it's hard to see, but my layout kind of like if I take you this way, it goes out, right?
Okay.
It gets wider as you go that way. Yeah. And it's only 8 foot, maybe 8 foot 3 inches long. So it's not long at all. But yeah, this is the space that I had, and that was it, you know. And I know that I didn't want to do end scale. I'm like, I can't see it, and I definitely wouldn't want to build end scale buildings. uh, so yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I
And
enjoyed in scale for quite a while, but
yeah, I mean,
the second I bought an HO scale engine and put it on track and saw it go back and forth, I was like, this is different.
yeah, I mean, you know, for me, it's the older I get, the worse I can't see. You know, like everybody, right? When I was in the end scale, I was younger and I could see it, and
Hmm.
it frustrates me to not be able to see it. And I knew that, like, I built that end scale layout, and it's just track and ballast. You know, I never finished it. Um, it's just because I can't see it. It just frustrates me. I don't want to, I'm done with it. So, you know, HL it was, and, you know, I like it. I mean, it's even hard to see sometimes, but, on little detail things. But for the overall thing, I like I like HO more. I mean, I understand that N scale leaves you a lot of room to build, which is cool,
Yeah.
but you can't see it. What's the point? In my case, right? What's the point? So I don't want to be frustrated when I come to my layout.
Yeah, I hear you there. That's the number one reason I would guess that a lot of people get into the hobby and then get right back out is they
Yeah.
find some of the processes to
Mm-hmm.
be way too frustrating to be enjoyable because they want instant results, and it's not
Yeah.
an instant result hobby by any
No.
means.
No, it's not. I mean, like anything that you're building from nothing isn't instant.
Right.
Whatever it is. I mean, whatever it is, it's just not instant. If you want instant, buy something finished. There's tons of stuff out. You can go buy a whole layout on Facebook Marketplace all the time. You know,
Yeah.
go buy one of them, and then you can run trains.
Yeah. Well, I think that we're out of time. Uh, well, I don't know. Maybe we still got 2 minutes. I don't see where my
Yeah,
clock is
I see
anymore.
like 58.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there it is. I see the clock now. I was looking in the wrong place. Yeah.
We didn't cover anything you did, but
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things I've done, but they're not anything major.
yeah,
It wouldn't take me but 30 seconds to say, see the cardboard lattice on the wall that looks like a big old shoe.
now how come are you up, or did you still have me as the main thing?
I've still got you highlighted
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I was wondering.
because your layout's much nicer to look at than my face for radio. So
Yeah, I guess so. I'll go with that. But yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, uh, that's about it.
Well, I guess we'll call it quits here. We still got,
Yeah,
like a minute
couple
left, but
seconds.
I don't think we're
Yeah,
going to discuss anything important in the last minute of the show.
I don't
So
either.
we'll
Thanks
just
for
call
coming
it good
in,
then.
everybody. Good to see you. It's good to see Steve Arnold come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
good to
he'll
see
heal
him.
up in a
Yeah.
week or two and we can have him back.
Yeah, hope you heal fast. At least you got your shoulder done, Steve. That's what counts.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Have a good
We'll hopefully
weekend.
see you next weekend.
See you guys.